Alright, there's the top shock mount. I just finished welding it a minute ago, and shock will fit right in there. And tomorrow we will work on the shock bottom. That'll go from the legs down to the bottom of the shock, obviously. And there's the fender mounts. They're all welded in. So we'll get to clean these up tomorrow, and that'll be that. Alright, I got the shock mounts, the bottom shock mounts done. So the only thing left to weld on this front end will be the tabs for the headlights and the turn signal tabs, and that's it. That's the only thing left to do, and that won't happen until on the scooter. And as you can see what we did there. Okay, there's the. Now it hasn't been ground too much. The newest welds have not been ground or shined up. You know, all I did was wire brush them a little bit. And that's how it'll look on the scooter, of course. And that goes up and down a little bit. And that's that. So there's the front end. Well, alrighty then, we have set the front end. We put it together, put the shock on and the fender on just for looks. And tonight we're going to determine the length of the lower strap. So what we need to do first off is to put a little shim, about 3/16 of a shim in there, and I'm going to use this little screwdriver. Stick that in there and then measure the center from hole to hole with that shim in there. And we put the shim in so that when it's on the straps, the front end won't hit the triple tree, and if you have to make fine-tuning adjustments to get onto pad point, you can do that. So you can move your front end, your axle, or your front end back and forth wherever it needs to be to make it handle good, you know. And then so we will cut and drill the straps, and I've already measured. I already set it up and measured. It happens to be 2 3/8 on center from hole to hole with the shim in there. So once that's done and those are on there and mounted, then we go up here and measure this from hole center to center on this hole, the upper one. Now we already know that this is on pad point. The way it's set up, right there is pad point, and bam, there it is right there. So that means your tire is going to be rotating back and forth right on that spot, right on this line right there. And this is what makes a handle like a slot car. It will fly around corners like glued to the ground. So that's for John to do tomorrow, and tonight I'm just setting it up and measuring and getting everything ready to go. And a side note, when you build a front end, when I build a front end, I don't know how you do it, but when I do it, I always set it up with the shock all the way on the softest position. That way, as it wears, you can turn it and stiffen it up. And most shocks, you can just rotate them to a stiffer setting, you know, after the shock is worn down some. So that's what I do. So here's the strap material. It is 1 inch wide by 1/2 inch thick, solid stock, solid steel, cold rolled, and we've already measured. The holes are 2 3/8 inches apart. There'll be one there and one there. So we'll cut 2 straps, one there and one there. We'll grind them or smooth them up so they're exactly the same length, and then stack one on top of the other and tack weld them together there and there. And then when we drill the holes through both of them at the same time, through both of them there and both of them there. Then take the tack welds off and clean them up a little bit, and your straps are exactly identical to each other. So when you put your front end together, it'll be nice and straight. And that's how I do it. another note about how I do things. I know that a lot of you guys building front ends set it up where the rockers are set flush or parallel to the ground, and I don't do that. I set them up where the rocker is in line with the front end, so that when you turn that front end, you're turning directly the axle. To me, it seems like when you turn and when the rocker's down here, you know, you're turning it like, it just doesn't seem right to me. This works really, really well for me, and it's just how I do it. It works really good. The scooters handle really, really good. As you will see, once this scooter is done, we're going to go out and shoot some freaking video that will probably flip you guys all out, which is fine. You know, you do it how you do it, I do it how I do it. I don't really care. I got mine, you got yours, that's good. You know, everybody's happy, that's that. Alright kids, we got the shock mounted. We took off the shock that we had. It was just simply too stiff. So we took that off, the bottom mount we took off and made a new one. And we went out in the bucket and found another shock that has much better movement to it and better travel. So we put that on, and this thing is just going to work really freaking sweet. Going to be real, real nice the way it works. Even with, we have a flat tire because the tube is not holding air in that tire. But even with the flat tire, look how easy it is for him to go all the way from side to side. No effort at all, even on top of a flat tire. And the other thing you're going to notice is, go ahead and turn it all the way, look where his hands are, right in front of him. They're not way off to the side. There is virtually no tiller effect at all, because the handlebars are dead off in line with the front end. So you can see the front end, and the handlebars are right straight in line with it. So it's 100% direct steering right there. That is what is going to make this into a slot car.